Hey everybody, we're here with the engineer weapon intro, I guess. I'm gonna start out with basically just the construction PDA. um, there's not really any unlocks for this, but I mean, it's like the Eng's fourth weapon, but it lets you build sentry gun dispenser, teleporter, exit entrance, that type of thing. So I mean, every NG has this basically, and it's basically the biggest part about being an NG is the construction PDA. Almost everything else you have is kind of geared around your buildings, because an NG without his buildings is not very good. I mean, it's kind of like a wimpy scout, basically, or something. Like a scout that doesn't move fast or something, but... so we'll go with his main weapons. He has just a standard shotgun as his primary weapon. But he also has, 3 unlocks, I believe? Yeah. So there's the Frontier Justice, which... no random critical hits, and you can only have 3 shots for like an entire clip instead of 6, like with the other ones. At least like the regular one. But when your sentry is destroyed, you gain revenge crits for every sentry gun kill. So you do get crits, and if your sentry gun gets a kill, it counts as 2 crits when it's destroyed. And if it gets an assist, it counts as 1 crit. So it's pretty easy to rack up these crits, and they're very helpful. Because, I mean, if you get a really good shotgun crit, like if you hit every pellet of it, it does 180 damage. That kills almost everything. So, if you're planning... but it makes it so that you can't spam it a lot, because if you have those revenge crits built up, you don't really want to, like, just shoot them, like, try and pepper people from a really long distance with it, so... Also, you only have 3 shots, so if you miss your 3 shots, regardless if they're crits or not, you're basically dead, because you can't reload shotguns that fast. So you gotta be careful about that, which is why there's some secondaries I feel that work better with the Frontier Justice than like that. Like the Frontier Justice just lends itself to certain weapons, I believe, to kind of cover that huge ammo thing, because it is a pretty big deal. And then you have the Widowmaker, which is kind of the opposite of the Frontier Justice, because technically it has unlimited metal, provided you always hit people. Because each shot, it doesn't use up ammo, it doesn't have ammo, but it uses up your metal. Engineers, they have a special resource called metal. They start with 200, that's the cap, and you use metal to build buildings and repair buildings and that type of thing. But the Widowmaker also uses the metal to shoot, and it costs 30 metal per shot. But you don't have to reload. But you also, any damage you deal is returned as metal. So if you can actually hit people quite consistently, then you can actually gain metal back with this pretty easily, which can be nice. However, like the Frontier Justice, it doesn't lend itself as well to like shooting at anything other than close range, kind of. Because, I mean, you're not going to be able to do more than 30 damage. You're not going to make your metal back on the Widowmaker if you're shooting at people from a really long distance. And that's why I think you should probably use like the pistol or something with it, or the Wrangler you could use so you could have your gun shoot people further away. But we'll get to that in a second. The only other one really is the Thompson, which is it's like an energy-based weapon. It doesn't shoot bullets. It shoots kind of like this slow-moving, like kind of laserish projectile thing. It has 4 shots, like in a clip, I think, and I haven't used it a whole lot, but you have to you do have to reload it, but it's kind of like charging. If you guys recall from my soldier thing, it's kind of like the Righteous Bison and the Cow Mangler. You have to pump it to charge it. The projectiles penetrate enemies in this one, so that's pretty good. So you can hit multiple enemies as well. Projectiles cannot be deflected by pyros, so it's one of the few projectile weapons that actually can't be deflected. If you hit a medic with it, super annoying, that medic just lost 10% of their charge, which is dumb as hell. It's like, that's the reason this gun is never going to be allowed in like anything even remotely competitive play, because that is stupid. Because it's like, if a medic's going in with like full uber charge, and he gets hit by one of these right as he's about to pop it, he all of a sudden can't pop it. And it's like he was depending on an uber, and then he's dead. And it's like, wow. Super gay. Really annoying. And if you hit a spy with it, the spy loses 20% cloak, which is quite annoying as well, especially when you have the dead ringer or something, and you're almost have enough metal to use your dead ringer, and you just can't use it, and it's just like, damn it. That sucks. But yeah, really annoying weapon. It's really good if you want to piss people off, I'll tell you that, because it pisses me off. Alright. For the secondary, the standard one is the pistol, which is just standard pistol. Except the NG has 200 reserve ammo. So if you run out of pistol ammo as an NG, in like an actual game, you are shooting a lot and you are not picking up like any metal at all because you have 200 extra shots. It's like you cannot run out. So there's the pistol, and the Luger Morph is just a skin of the pistol. And then we have the short circuit, which it does a little bit of damage if they're really close to you, but it only does like 8 damage or something. It does some like minuscule amount of damage. It's not even worth it. Because I mean, it takes ammo. It takes 35 ammo. I mean, 35 metal. This uses metal like the Widowmaker, but it takes 35 metal to use this, and it doesn't give you metal back when you hurt people, and it just takes too much metal to use it to hurt people. What it is good for is if you use it, you can destroy projectiles. It's kind of like the Pyro's air blast, so you can like basically vaporize rockets out of midair. So it's very good in that sense when like somebody's spamming your sentry gun with rockets or with stickies. It also destroys stickies, and it does a very good job of that. If you're worried about stickies like blowing up your guns, you can clear out stickies so fast with this thing. But you know, I think the other one, the Wrangler, kind of serves like a similar purpose, because if somebody's spamming your gun with rockets that's like outside of your range, what you can use is use the Wrangler. The Wrangler actually lets you take control of your sentry gun and aim it yourself. Now the downside is when you're using this, obviously you can't use any other weapons you have. Your sentry gun no longer has auto aim like it normally does. However, much to my dismay, and I'm sure many others, the Wrangler does give slight aim assist, which is extremely annoying. It also makes the sentry gun shoot about twice as fast, I believe. And the sentry gun bullets and rockets and stuff don't have well, I'm not sure about the rockets, but I know the bullets don't have fall-off damage when you're using this, because normally sentry guns do 16 damage per bullet. So it does, the Wrangler, you have the 16 damage per bullet, even at really long ranges. And basically with a double attack speed, the double firing speed, you kill stuff so fast with the Wrangler, it is just dumb. And the Wrangler also gives your sentry gun a shield that reduces all incoming damage. Crap, I can't remember exactly what percent it is. It's either it reduces it to 33% or 20%, something like that. It cuts it down so much. It might be 25%. I don't know. But it makes your sentry gun, it's so easy for your sentry gun to like tank damage. When you switch away from the Wrangler, there's a period where your gun is still inactive, but it does still have the shield, which I think is also stupid. I don't think it should have the shield unless you have the Wrangler out, because essentially what you can do is, if your gun is getting shot at while using the Wrangler, obviously you're using the Wrangler to shoot back, but then you realize your gun's low. You can just switch to your wrench real quick while the shield is still active, and repair it quick, and then immediately start wrangling it again, which is kind of stupid. The Wrangler is pretty damn overpowered. I know it's banned in a lot of places. I don't know if it's banned in like UGC League Highlander. It should be, because the Wrangler's dumb. Well, first of all, it has aim assist. It's like, no, I don't want your shitty aim assist. That's not fun. Aim assist isn't fun. Anyways, well, you'll see that in the video. The Wrangler is just absurd. Probably, it's in my top 3 of weapons that need to get nerfed. That and the Enforcer. Those two just need to like get removed from the game. My God. Anyway. So we have wrenches. Wrenches, it's a standard melee weapon, but you can use it to upgrade and repair buildings. It takes. I'm just gonna leave a lot of the upgradings. I'm gonna leave a lot of the building stuff for the video because I can't really demonstrate it at all here. So if you guys want to see more about that and kind of like how that works, you need to watch my next video about Engineer. But it's basically just the wrench you use to upgrade, repair buildings. You can also help buildings build faster when you hit it with the wrench. You have the Southern Hospitality, which is just the wrench, except it does have bleed. You can cause people to bleed for 5 seconds. Makes it good for killing spies because you can track the blood. I know I did that a couple times in some of my other videos, but if you have high enough resolution on your screen, it's pretty easy to track the blood from bleeding like dead ringer spies and crap. And then the bleed's just nice when you're trying to kill other people too. But you don't get random critical hits, which is awful. Because the wrench crits a lot, because when your sentry gun does damage, that counts as your damage. So if your sentry gun's doing a lot of damage, that's going to increase your crit chance as the NG. So even though you're not shooting people personally, you can still have a really high crit chance, and so you often get tons of wrench crits against like spies and stuff. So you don't get that with this, which is unfortunate. And you also gain fire vulnerability, which isn't a huge deal because usually you're hiding behind sentries or something, so fire is not that big a deal. Let's see, what else? The Jag. See, this you have a minus 25% damage penalty, but apparently you can use it to build, like set up buildings faster. I know there's been some debate about how fast exactly this makes stuff build. I am not entirely sure. I think people are saying that it's actually less than 30%. But even still, I mean, a lot of times you're not going to be using your wrench to fight necessarily. So I think the Jag, it does make a difference, but it's just like, I don't know. It kind of is up to your discretion whether or not you want to sacrifice the damage. I mean, if you're getting bothered by spies or something a lot, it might be good to keep one of the other ones. But otherwise, I think the Jag is better if you're planning on just kind of turtling behind your gun and stuff. And then you have the Gunslinger, which basically introduces a huge different dynamic into the NG. Basically, if you're gonna use the Gunslinger, you kind of have to build the rest of your items around the Gunslinger because it's a very unique weapon. First of all, it increases your health more, so you can just have more health. No random critical hits. But it replaces the Sentry with a Mini Sentry. Now, Mini Sentries are basically the same, but they have less health. They build faster. They cost 100 metal instead of 125. 100 instead of 130. And they're stupid and overpowered, and also need to get nerfed. That's probably my other thing in the top 3 that needs to nerf. NG has stupid overpowered things. Mini sentries that are wrangled are just the devil. It's so annoying to kill mangled mini sentries. They're just so annoying. But if you want to be really annoying, you have to go Mini Sentry Engineer. That is the most annoying class. The only class that even comes close is like a Dead Ringer Spy with the Enforcer. That's like the only thing that's even mildly close in annoyance level. But what else? What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah. So I mean, you have the Gunslinger, which is pretty much ridiculous, and it changes the NG a lot. And then there's another wrench, which I don't have right now, but I will get because I do want to try it out. It's kind of interesting. It's called the Eureka Effect. Here, I'll just go into crafting and I'll show you it. But, Eureka Effect. Here we are. So you can read it. If you use Alt Fire with it, you teleport back to spawn. You get fully healed and full metal. So, I mean, that's pretty good because, I mean, like let's say you're playing on like offense and you're building teleporters for your team. A person on the enemy team goes all the way back to your base and destroys your teleporter entrance. Now you have two options. One of them is to walk back, or the other one is to just kill yourself so you'll spawn back at your spawn. You have a third option with this. You can teleport to spawn, which is much quicker, and then you can just build it real quick. The Eureka Effects is also pretty good in Arena because it does heal you fully and give you metal. So in Arena, where there's not health kits and crap everywhere, it can be extremely useful to regain health and stuff. However, in Arena, I would generally say Mini Sentry NG is the way to go. So I don't think it's that viable in that sense. The huge downside to the Eureka Effect is you cannot carry buildings. You can carry buildings with any other wrench. This one you cannot. And that is a very big deal a lot of times. It's a huge deal when you're playing on like payload offense, where you have to keep moving your teleporter exit up and stuff as your team moves up. It's also bad because on defense, when you retreat, you can do stuff like take your dispenser, so you can set up another base really quickly. Moving buildings was probably the single like craziest addition to NG, and I don't think it's worth it to sacrifice that so that you can teleport to spawn, because it's like if you really want to go back to spawn, you can just kill yourself. All you have to do is make sure that your team knows you're going to do it and that your team's going to cover your stuff from spies, basically. Because that's really, if you put your stuff in a good spot, spies are probably the only thing that's going to blow it up, or an Uber. And if it's an Uber and it's an Uber that knows what the hell they're doing, it's not going to matter if you're there or not. Because I mean, if you're there trying to heal your stuff when an Uber's coming, I mean, it's a pretty poor Uber if they cannot kill it. So it's really the only thing is spies. I've had a couple times where I've tried to go back to spawn by killing myself and I've gotten sapped like immediately after, which sucks. But it's just like if you teleported back, it might have gotten sapped as well. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's that useful. I mean, I'll try and show it off because it's really fun to do. I've seen a couple times. You can also, it's a pretty great escape mechanic. Like if you're in a spot where you know you're gonna die, You can you can kind of just hide and use this to teleport out and like escape. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's basically it for the engineer weapons. He has a lot of actually really interesting weapons. I think he has the most like unique type weapons, I would say. Like he has the Wrangler, which is just like what, and the Short Circuit, which is what, Gunslinger, what, Eureka Effect, Teleportation, and just what, Widowmaker and Thompson. It's just like I don't know. So many of his weapons have characteristics that like nobody else has. So he has a lot of very interesting weapons that I think are a lot of them are pretty good. To be honest, I think this is my favorite that I have right now, actually. Shotgun Wrangler Jag. Because you just build up a sentry gun and you wrangle the crap out of it, and it's just like, oh shit, wrangled sentry gun, can't do anything. But, so yeah, that's that. We are going to jump into the video, and I'll explain more about, like, how buildings work and that type of thing. And hopefully I can show you guys some cool sentry gun spots, because one important thing about engineers is knowing where to put sentry guns and your bases and stuff. So, hopefully I'll get to show you guys some of that. I'm going to try and find a server that has a rotation so I can go through multiple maps and maybe show you some stuff. Because the most important thing about Engie is definitely knowing where to put your sentries. Because if you don't know where to put your sentries and they just get destroyed right away, you're basically a glorified scout in a lot of ways. I mean, like, glorified in that you suck because you can't move as fast and you don't have double jump. And also the scattergun for the scout does more damage, but, anyway, I guess that's it, so I will see you guys on the next video.